Hi there, and welcome everybody. It is a pleasure to have you all with us in this Spark Camp session.
Hi, thank you for joining us.
First of all, we would like to thank the Innovator Academy for this great opportunity to be here today and meet you all. Thank you. We are very happy to be here.
Thank you indeed to the Innovator Academy. This is our first Spark Camp, and we are super excited, but as well a little bit nervous. So please forgive us for any mistakes. As you can find out in a minute, we are both Italian and we'll do our best to speak English.
Okay,
Thank you,
now let's
Francesco.
introduce ourselves. My name is Angelo. I am an IT laboratory teacher. I live in Viterbo, near Rome.
And my name is Esther. I'm a music teacher and I live in a small city near Milan in the north of Italy. So we are here today to present our project. It is not related to the educational field nor to school, since it is a podcast. We would like to tell you about it. It is a project born last summer without a specific topic. It's basically a chat, just like a normal chat one can have with a friend. It takes about our interests, something that tickles our curiosity, or simply something that grabs our attention. How it started? It all started during some professional meetings, some professional calls we were having in Google Meet. And to make our meetings less informal, we started to have some drinks while chatting. And we realized that we actually had a lot of mutual interests, and we decided to share them with other people. So, what's better than a podcast to do this? But let's talk about the title, Apperò Spritz, that would sound a little bit weird, especially for a non-Italian speaker. For those who don't know, Spritz is a typical Italian drink that we and Deborah, we love it too. And I mean we Italian, we normally drink as aperitivo, just like before dinner or before lunch. And it's normally served with some appetizers, just like such as chips or peanuts or a little slice of pizza. It is prepared with a liquor called Aperol. And this liquor has this bright orange color to which you add some Prosecco. And I'm quite sure that you all know perfectly what I'm speaking about. Prosecco is a sparkling white wine. Then one needs some seltzer, some ice, and finally an orange slice to decorate the rim of your glass. So the name of the podcast, what does it mean? So Apperò Spritz is a sort of pun, a word pun that merges together two words. The first one, Apperò, is a typical Italian expression used when someone tells you something particularly surprising or curious. I'll make it clearer for you, especially for a non-Italian speaker, in a second with a practical example. And for this, I'll need the help of my mate, Angelo. Angelo, are you ready?
Of course.
Okay, so let's suppose I've just won a big amount of money and I can't wait to share my happiness with my friend Angelo. So I'd say, hey, Angelo, you know what? I'm over the moon because I've won $1 million.
Apero!
So please notice the facial expression strongly and deeply connected to the meaning of this idiom. Well, it happened that during our chats, while we were chilling out with a glass of spritz, we used to say this word so very frequently that we thought that it would be a good idea to merge these two words and use them as the title of our podcast. And that's the story of the origin of this weird title. We are now planning to record 8 episodes in total until May or June 2023. And in each episode, we simply explore a different topic by talking to each other. And as a result, we hope, at least, our conversation turn out to be sparkling and refreshing, just like a spritz. Our aim is, of course, is to entertain our audience, no more no less. Currently, we've released 2 episodes. In the first one, our pilot episode, we made a general introduction, an overview of the entire project. In the second one, we talked about photography. And we are about to publish our third, which is supposed to be released just after the campus. So if you're wondering what it will be about, stay tuned and follow us. But now for the main topics we are going to discuss in our podcast, it's over to you, Angelo.
Okay, thank you, Esther. Here you can find some examples of the topics. Time lapse and hyperlapse is the first.
Yes, as we both like taking photos and editing videos, so we choose this as the topic of our second episode.
Dystopian TV series.
Yes, we both like cinema and TV series, and in particular, we both loved the famous TV series, The Handmaid's Tale. I know that maybe someone of you saw it, and as well the film Never Let Me Go. And it's through this that we started to explore dystopian in literature and cinema, and we discovered a common passion. But I won't spoil it further because it's the main topic of our third episode.
Music, in particular, the music in the 90s.
Yeah, because one cannot tell, but we are actually old, isn't it, Angelo? We are old. And in the 90s, we were both in our youth, even if I have to say it, I'm so much younger than Angelo. And okay, Deborah, you are with us. You feel us, and we talked about the kind of music was at the top of the charts in those years, and it was surprising to notice how much the international music scenario has changed in just a bunch of years, and I mean in terms of rock bands, pop bands, and also music genres. Next one, Angelo.
Social distress of young people, and not only.
Yeah, the social distress is a very actual topic and very important, in my opinion. Nowadays, the new generations are more and more tempted to communicate through posting on social networks instead of speaking to each other. In reality, we adults do the same. And it seems to be sometimes the easiest mean to communicate. But however, I think that it's the end of human relationships. So it's very tough and important topic. And we can't wait to discuss it. Next one, Angelo.
Movie soundtracks.
Yeah, because it turned out that we are very attentive listeners. And so we often discuss a particular film scene, and in particular the effect that it has on the audience with this particular soundtrack. And we love a lot of soundtrack composers, just like to mention one, Ennio Morricone. I know that you know what I'm speaking about. Last one.
And final, our job as teacher, especially related to ICT.
Yeah, as we said before, we are both teachers that love using ICT in classes, so we cannot avoid to speak about this, especially now that we are both part of Innovator Cohort 2022. Okay, as you can imagine, our podcast is in Italian. And as Francesco commented, Apperò. So if you speak Italian, or if you're learning the language, or if you know some Italian expert in your country, or you simply like the musicality of our language, please feel free to share our podcast with them. We will be excited to reach out a wider audience from all over the world.
You can find our podcast on Anchor FM, Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music. You can also find all the links framing the QR code.
Okay, so it's basically quite time to go. It's been an honor and a pleasure to be here with you. And now you can hear our jingle.
Questo è Apperò Spritz,
un podcast di chiacchiere e divagazioni tra due amici al bar, con Esther Vazzoler
e Angelo Gigliotti.
Okay, so we hope you liked our presentation, but we would like to leave you with a toast. So, Angelo, it's time to have a spritz. So raise your glasses and say chin chin with us. We hope we helped you to discover the versatility of this Italian drink. And thank you for your attention.
Thank you for your attention.
And cheers.
Thank you both. Really nice to hear about how your podcast is getting on.